like sports, football, I like running, I like computers.
People. We love people.
I'm a massive Andy Murray fan, so I'm just brilliant, and that's on for 2 weeks.
Being with my mate, sitting in the sunshine, not being sad and listening to good music. And drinking.
Just going to the cinema, getting on a bus.
Somewhere where you can get a snack and a coffee, like refreshments.
I became homeless because I was in a 7-year marriage, which was a very abusive relationship.
My problems are due to mental health.
I became homeless after an eviction.
Whilst I was at rehab, I received a letter from a solicitor saying that I couldn't go back to the family home, which left me in a bit of a pickle, to be honest, because I only had, at the time, 2 months left in rehab.
I lost the job, window cleaning, and I have an accident. I got a depression and I lost my job. After that, I became homeless.
I was homeless 10 months ago, and I was actually sleeping in bins. But when I was homeless, I used to go in there at 10 o'clock when they first opened, and I'd have a shower. And then they'd let me use their computers, you know, like to build a CV and stuff like that. Also, I could have food. I could have 2 meals a day. I got into the ARP, which is the Alcohol Recovery Project. I was in the ARP for like 9-10 months, something like that. And then I moved into Julian housing. I love to cook. When you're homeless, having a cooker, well, you don't actually have one. Now I do. I can cook, eat healthy. Acting, that's my new passion. I love acting. I love making people laugh. And I've just joined salsa dancing, so I'll be doing that now. Get to meet people socially.
I was involved in crime from 12, 13. I'm now nearly 50, so I think I came out, I was about 38. I don't know, I just ended up, I was working at BMW 1 minute, and then the next minute I was at Cali selling crack with prostitutes. They need not to sell any more drugs. I don't want to sell drugs, I just want to be left alone, I don't want to do it no more. So that's kind of what I did. I started being with the church. And as horrible as I could be to them, they didn't say go away. They didn't say get out. They just kept praying. I don't know how, but somehow I don't drink. I just don't want any drink. After a few weeks, I didn't want drink no more. I just didn't want it. But then I started smoking again a bit when I got to Julian housing, the weed, and ran up another bill. I ran up a rent bill of about 500 quid. So it was going a bit bad again. Not bad, I wasn't back in crime at least, but I'd run up the rent bill. So I then decided to myself, no, you know, shake yourself up a bit, you've let slip again, you're sliding again. So, you know, and I'm suffering from depression, and that's why I'm smoking more weed to try and make myself feel better, and it's just like that. So what I need to do is I need a job. How am I going to get a job? So I start doing voluntary work. So after 3 years, they knew, look, you ain't on drugs. I've not been involved in crime. I've been working voluntary, and I got myself the job. I got myself a job, as I said, and here we are. This has helped me out no end, really. If it's not like places like this, it's fend for yourself, basically.
I've used around the house, like if you put yourself out, you can get help from them. But like I say, last year was probably better. This year, they've changed all their rules and that, you know. So it's getting a bit harder to get things out of them, you know. A place, you've either got to agree to be totally sober or drug-free or whatever to get anything. But then so many people have been on drink and that, where they've been on the street so many years, it's hard for them to just stop like that. And they're saying, no, we can't put you in until we've checked that you've lived up here that long. I've been in and out of here so many times, they know I've lived up here so long, you know what I mean? And I said to them, you're telling me I've got no local connections, yet you've got Polish people in here. You know what I mean?
We're only homeless, we ain't criminals, we haven't done anything wrong, we just want somewhere to live. And they're like, you've got to do courses, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, right? Which is fair play if you want to do them, but like I'm on disability, do you know what I mean? Because I lost all my hair, these are extensions. I lost all my hair and everything through cancer and that, and my nerves and everything, right? And do you know what I mean? Like if, by law, if I don't want to go and do them things, I shouldn't have to.
It's up to you. If you want to use the services and use them wisely, and that, they're fantastic, and you meet some really fantastic people that will help you out, basically, if you are willing. But there's a lot, as you see out there, there's not a lot of people that use the service to their...
People are homeless because they have issues, many are mental health issues. A lot of it's domestic violence, abuse, things like that, and people need help. And people don't, you know, a lot of people don't see that. They think, oh, homeless people, junkies, drinkers, whatever. What they don't realise is people drink because it's self-medication.
We work with homeless people, but homelessness tends to be a consequence of other issues. They're not necessarily here because they're homeless. People will be here because they've got mental health problems or all sort of bad things happen when they were children. So the homelessness sometimes have to be put aside and just reassessing where we're starting, really.
The people we used to see who were homeless back in the 70s were homeless usually for mental health reasons or for family reasons, you know, abuse, or for reasons of substance misuse, or all three. Now we have those, but we all have a great group of people who are homeless for the simple fact they can't get a home or get a job to afford a home. And that group used to be unknown. We didn't used to have those people.
There needs to be more affordable housing built, but also the quality of the housing in the private rental sector and the price of the housing in the private rental sector, they need to be tackled. The second point that we need to start looking at is about the wage that employers are paying in. People need to be paid a decent wage that covers the bills, puts food on the table and puts a roof over their heads. And the third point is to open up those opportunities, to open up employment to people who may have had homelessness as a background, who have come out of drug and alcohol addiction programs, who have an offending history.
Everybody deserves to have a home. Everybody needs to have somewhere that they can go at the end of the day and close the door and it's there, somewhere to feel safe. The hidden homeless, the sofa surfers are more prevalent than the street homeless. But to be not knowing for sure where you're going to sleep that night and suddenly at the last minute, oh, afraid you can't stay here tonight, and bounce to another place. Or we've known young people just walking the streets at night because they're too scared to find a base to base themselves because it's not safe on the streets. So I think we need to work to prevent homelessness as much as we can.